Hello everyone, this is again Koji from Celestial Rhythms. Well, you see, this is the picture I found today. There's a new comet which has been just turning much brighter than it was, Comet NEOWISE, or known as C-2020 F3, just has brightened from almost invisible to visible +2. That is saying you can see it now at the pre-dawn sky. Read this newscast here on spaceweather.com to get more information. So comets are always a sign, harbingers of big changes, of some dramatic shifts and turns to happen on planet Earth that has been known since long into the past. Every year when there's big comets, there is something of extraordinary magnitude happening. So so on the occasion, I mean there's so many occasions, let me just go back to this screen here, which is what I want to talk about today, is Earth's perihelion. I say, no, it's the aphelion. Okay, now I'm confused for a moment myself. Okay, let me explain. Earth moves in an ellipse around the sun, just slightly elliptical, not that much, but enough to, well, to be of quite a significant difference. So the days in summer are longer than they are in winter, because Earth moves faster in winter around the planet than in summer. So at its slowest is when it's farthest away from the sun, naturally, and that is today. Just so happens, July the 4th. And every year this varies a little bit. So this year, the exact moment when Earth was farthest away from the sun, which is called at its aphelion, was 11:35 a.m. and 57 seconds Greenwich time or universal time, and this is the global chart for that moment. So this is truly sun's relationship with the sun is reflected in this chart, and I found, my research showed me that these are incredibly powerful moments, closest and farthest, and as you easily can probably do the math yourself, 6 months earlier is the in that sense, sorry, the closest approach of Earth to the sun, which is around January 1 to January 5. It varies quite a bit, and farthest away with longest days in summer, roughly between July 3rd and 5, every year a bit different. So this year, this is the chart we're looking at, and as I say, these moments have great predictive power. I could show you many charts which totally support that. Actually, I plan to write a longer article on that once I have more time to really focus, which I'm sure will come maybe next year or so. Anyway, I'm very excited about everything right now. Astrology is such an open book which shows where things are going. So this is the moment, and you see HYGEIA right up in midheaven. So it's all about health. How about that? It's pretty obvious. Everything is about health these days. So if we are able to master this, whatever demic you call it, then we are out on the other side. Everything will fall in place. That's really the big question mark in the space, in the room. Now there is this square from Chiron at the 7th house cusp, and there is this other interesting small planet, actually the 3rd largest object of the Kuiper belt, MAKEMAKE or MAKEMAKE. Let me just go there for a sec. So this is the Wikipedia page, which tells you a little bit about it. MAKEMAKE is a dwarf planet, perhaps the second largest Kuiper belt object, for diameter approximately 2/3 of that of Pluto, 2/3 as big as Pluto. And MAKEMAKE or MAKEMAKE even has a moon, and it's a very cold surface out there. It's covered with methane, ethane, and nitrogen ices, they say here. So MAKEMAKE was discovered in 2005 by Michael Brown, and it was named in July 2008 after a Easter Island god, the rain god. That gives you a little picture of the Easter Islands, and these are the Rapa Nui people, Polynesian Aboriginal inhabitants of Easter Island. Easter Island being one of the really most interesting spots on our planet, as it's the island, I should say a populated island farthest away from other continents. I guess in each direction it's more than 2,000 miles. And it's really separate, had its own little micro climate in terms of evolution, as it was cut off so much. So there's lots of reports that Easter Island was a very important place also for extraterrestrial visits. Anyway, so MAKEMAKE, the small planet, let me just pull that out. Here it is, my notes. I need notes here still because this is still new to me too. So MAKEMAKE is a creator god, a creator god of humanity even. That's what the myth says. It stands for new birth of consciousness, a new way of life. Is audacious, is brave, and has drive for accomplishments. And it's particularly related to worldly creativity. So hands-on, do it. It's not just thought and ideas, but it's real structures, real manifestations of creation. This is I just show you this big quickly. That is a picture of MAKEMAKE with its tiny moon located just above, and this image, and this one here, that's the same page. Okay, so let's go back to the chart here. So we have a MAKEMAKE, HYGEIA, CHIRON, T-square. And we're looking at heliocentric astrology here. That's always the starting point, because that's the energy in its purest form. That's how the sun is gauged by all the different planets, the geometric alignments around the sun, change the sun's energy. That's a whole other subject in terms of solar flares and space weather. I just give you that much away here. When there's big solar flares, big solar events, there's always particular arrangements of planets, particular geometry and energy flow. So the sun's energy naturally also very easily understood influences us directly, and it's that the information in each photon is changing all the time. It's that you could call it the holographic nature. It's in each atom, in each of these small particles, light beams, there is energy encoded, and that's the basic energy which keeps us alive. And the sun would stop shining, we would be gone in probably very, very shortly. I guess it's within hours the temperature on this planet would drop below zero, you can imagine. So the sun is really our source of energy in every way. We are extensions of solar consciousness, you could say. So if we now look at the, okay, let me give you some more explanations, words here which came to me when I looked at this. This is the recreation of health for sure. It is a process of healing which is involved, and naturally the first step in healing is always the diagnosis, to really have a close and deep look at what's wrong. In Aries, Chiron is, since now I guess it's the second year, and it'll be in here still till 2025, 26 around. So this is a very important window of recreation, Aries being the first sign. It's the also the taking responsibility, each person, each being in their own right. That's what Chiron in the first sign says, that we are all part in this. We are the ones we've been waiting for, as the famous saying goes. So the time has come to recreate, to bring things into a new direction, the whole world and all our thinking and everything, and health is the paramount guiding light in this whole setup. So I just want to let's go step by step. So this is now the same moment for Washington DC, when Earth was farthest away from the sun earlier today, 7:36 a.m. in Washington that was. And guess what? The black moon we have here in midheaven, and we have all these many planets in the 6th house. So this is interesting. The 6th house is the house of healing, the house of problem solving and solutions, finding ways to change the mechanics, to go in there and reassemble. It's the house which resonates with Virgo, and it happens that in Virgo we have here a bunch of strange and smaller objects. Just want to point out Astrea, which is named after the Greek goddess who stayed longest on this planet after things had gone bad, after the whole humanity deteriorated. All the other gods, they just left. They said, I'm done with that. Astrea stayed and helped to resolve problems, issues. It's that hands-on approach of doing things when they are necessary. So that's and I mean, there's a lot going on here in this chart. I can't talk about everything here in these short few minutes. I just want to give you the meat. So interesting, the moon in this moment here, right at the cusp of the 6th house in Capricorn, together with all these other planets we have been talking about so much already: Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and Pallas, and Arrokoth, and Chariklo, and Quaoar, and Pholus, and you name it. It's an unbelievable assembly of energies here in Capricorn, which really give the first clear indication that this is about restructuring, about a reforming of reality, as we say. So interesting in this chart, as I say, the black moon and Aries right in midheaven. And guess what? This is the degree where the American nations Chiron is. Let me just zoom back to that for a sec. See, here you have it, 20 degrees and 8 minutes. And there is this really beautiful opposition in the American chart, the independence chart. Happy birthday, American people, America. 244 years it's today. So I will do another short broadcast about that too, or podcast, or whatever you call that. Anyway, the long story short, this is a powerful opposition in the American chart. Actually, aside from Saturn here, the only planets, celestial bodies here in the 10th and the 4th house. And here's another one. I mean, there's many more smaller ones, but these are really the most prominent ones we have so far. Who knows? We might find even more planets. However, the point I want to make, this is a very important axis in the American chart, and this translates here into this. This is the one I was talking about, right? The one for Washington. And again, just to remind you, this moment when the Earth is at the extreme point, this gives you the picture for the next 6 months. That's kind of the span. Each 6 months there's a reboot in that sense. So this is for the next 6 months valid. So Aries, the shaker, breaking things apart to reassemble them in a new way. The black moon, exposing shadows and darkness. It's the deepest trench in the ocean, so to say, where all the unwanted and repressed and pushed away emotions are hiding and assembling and gathering and piling up. So the black moon here, very highly placed in this chart, right at zenith, together with Chiron of the American nation here, and Juno, which is close here too. Juno, I should explain it quickly, that's an asteroid which is related to teamwork, relationships as such. It's the idea Juno has is that it needs many pillars to uphold a big roof. So it's that understanding, the more we join our forces and work together in the same direction, it's really the where we go one, we go all thing. That's very much Juno. And that goes through a big reformation, renewal here in the first place. This has been active for the last few months already. This opposition, that is kind of the theme we have this year, one of the key themes. There's a few of those. But it seems this is most important naturally for the American nation, as they have that exact same opposition in their birth chart. Okay. Now, I want not to go too far further. I want to just show you one more chart here in this small reading. Let me see where I find it. Well, maybe there's another one I had in mind, but yes, I will continue with this one in my next one. That's the solar return of the American people. I want to keep them more on the short side. So anyway, so you get the bigger picture. Maybe I should add a few more minutes here to have a look back and a look even further ahead. I guess that was my original plan. Okay, let's do it quickly. Doesn't take that long. So that's the one from the last half year, if we talk of those moments when the Earth was closest, I keep saying it wrongly, so closest it was in January. So okay, so we should see something dramatic here in this chart, and this again is starting with the solar chart, the heliocentric. What stands out here is Capricorn is rising. And there's all these planets I just mentioned before, and a few other ones like Mercury is in here, in the position of the ascendant. So that's kind of tells us whatever we are now experiencing, that was the starting point of that whole transformation, and it is basically exactly true. That's if we didn't have that whole episode and Jupiter at the ascendant, very loud. And now let me show you the geocentric picture. This makes all the difference here in this chart, so just bear with me. That is okay. Which one was it? Sorry. 765, that's the one. Okay, just have to find the right chart here to change it to no, it's not that one. 765, yes it is 765. Okay, sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, redraw. Okay, that's what I want to show you. So that's now the geocentric moment, January 5, 2020, Earth closest to the Sun, right? Still have to learn these two words. What stands out is the south node aligned with Jupiter. That's difficult. That really shows the power struggle which has been going on. The south node is the collective past. It is all what we accumulated and our all that base rock we are standing on. With Jupiter here, it is really a big look into the rear view mirror. And no surprise, that big power clash, that is really what all this caused, which we see in today's manifestations, all the events and the problems which were thrown in front of us, they originated with that big power struggle, and it's a very loud energy, and as Q put it, it's a biblical time. Makes total sense when we see this Jupiter south node with all these other energies in the sign of the global ascendant. What else stands out here is Moon Uranus conjunction. No surprise here either. We were definitely thrown left and right. Moon and Uranus have that tendency to shock us, to make us having to deal with new situations which we haven't seen before. There was the black moon and Chiron, black moon closing in on Chiron. Then what again stands out is MAKEMAKE here, T-squaring the ascendant and descendant and the nodal axis. So that recreation, new creation already was here in the higher dimensions, the starting point. So that's kind of the last 6 months, and let's have a quick peek ahead. So that would be then January 2nd, 2021. And yeah, I just want to show you this one. This is just beautiful. So we have Aquarius in midheaven for the global chart, and we have Mercury and Jupiter flanking the midheaven within less than a degree. if that is an ever beautiful and hopeful chart into a Aquarian future, so it really is that way. I can confirm that the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in December is the true birth of the new age, the age of Aquarius if you want. It's the golden age when the curtains will be first time fully opened, so we can see what will be possible, and this is a clear indication that this is the case. There's many more to this chart that stands out. Maybe one last thing I want to mention is HUYA. It's another newer planet, and I will talk about HUYA very soon. Just note, this is the American nation's ascendant and descendant. Actually, this is the descendant. So again, it shows that this new energy we will be receiving and bathing into from January 2021 on is supported, is brought forward, facilitated by the American nation. Is that ever beautiful? Just all falls in place. Astrology at its best, I always keep telling my clients, is confirmation, what we already know. Anyway, I want to keep it at that. Thank you so much again for tuning in and listening, and love you all. See you soon. Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay. Thank you.